What's up, Buffalo Fanatics? Josh Allen here. Just wanted to say, go Bills.
What's up, everybody? It's your man, Rev, and you are now tuned in to another episode of Rated Rev, right here on the Buffalo Fanatics Network. Smash that like and hit the subscribe button. You know how we do. From week to week, we bring you that heat. So clear the table. It's time to eat. Let's get it. What's up, Buffalo Fanatics? It's your man, Rev, and you are now tuned in to another edition, another episode of Rated Rev, brought to you by BetUS on the Buffalo Fanatics Network. Man, I hope everybody's doing well. Grace and peace to everybody who is watching me right now live. You guys know what time it is. Smash that like, hit the subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications, and then let me know where you're watching from. This is a roll call, baby. Man, it feels good to be with you guys again. And to everybody who may be listening via podcast format, welcome to Rated Rev. I am the host, Rev Rhodes, aka Rev, and I'm excited about today. We got a lot to talk about today, baby. A lot to talk about. But I see the chat already going off. I got my man Johnny Blaze in the house. What's good, Johnny Blaze? Chris716 in the house. Christopher Roseboro in the house. Ronald Ringler, I see you. Jay Osamene, I hope I said that right. He's coming from Charleston, South Carolina. What's good, Jay? Who else we got in here, baby? Allentown, PA, from my man Ronald. Sweat in the house from Indianapolis. What's good, baby? Lou, what's happening, Lou? How you doing? Here we go. Fallen Angel coming all the way from Binghamton, New York. Man, oh man, oh man. Here we go. Michael, boost check. I hope I said that correctly, Michael, from Detroit, Michigan. What's happening, everybody? You guys hop on in here with me. How you feeling? How is everybody feeling entering into week number 11 of the National Football League regular season? I hope everybody's feeling okay. We got a lot to talk about tonight. As you know, off the top, I'm asking the question, ladies and gentlemen. Should Josh Allen shoulder the blame for the Bills' problems? You let me know what you think. Let me know right here in the chat, in the comment section. I want to hear from you. Who should be to blame for the Bills' problems as we are entering into a matchup with the Cleveland Browns? Oh, man. It's a lot. It is a lot to talk about. It's a lot to digest. But we're going to do it anyway. We are going to do it anyway. You know what? I'm not too sure how everybody feels about it. I already see a lot of people already dropping their opinions in the chat right now. We're going to get into it. Hold on 1 second. Let me say what's up to everybody. Derek, I got Derek coming in here. Derek Pressey from Austin, Texas. What's good, Derek? All the way from my hometown of Texas. Nice to see you. We've got a lot of people that are chiming in right now. About whether or not Josh Allen should shoulder the blame for these Bills' problems. And this is something that I think it's important that we talk about, right? You know, for me, I would have to say that this loss that we suffered against the Vikings this past Sunday has left me feeling the worst I have felt since the Bills-Chiefs divisional game last year. I have not felt this bad. This is the second, right? Second to that game. Second to the Chiefs game. And you say, Rev, I mean, why, man? It's just a regular season game. You know what I'm saying? And it's against an NFC team at that. I get it. But this game felt different. And it was not just the fact that we lost. It was the way in which the Bills lost. The way this team lost the game left me feeling some type of way. I mean, I felt bad against the Jets, right? I was like, man, there's no way in the world we should have lost to the Jets, right? It almost kind of felt like the Jags game. But I was like, you know what? The team will get back. They'll get back on track, right? They host the Minnesota Vikings, who are 7-1 going into that game. There was a tough team, no doubt, but I felt like the Bills would correct some of their mistakes, some of the issues would be rectified. And boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. But at the beginning of that game, though, it seemed like, all right, the Bills may run away with this. They just may run away with this game. And I was feeling pretty good. But if any of you watched the pregame show with myself, Rico, and I think it was Kevin Syracuse, I was on record talking about some of the issues that concerned me with the Bills' offense, not necessarily the defense. I know we had our own issues that we had to deal with, especially with the likes of the injuries, which we're gonna discuss that here shortly. But the offense left a lot to be desired, specifically in the second half of the game of games. And I was like, you know what? I think at that time, going into the game, the Bills' offense mustered 6 points in the second half, total, since the Green Bay Packers game, since the second half of the Packers game, 6. And I'm like, look, I will feel okay once I see how this team comes out of the second half, how they answer the bell after the first half of football will let me know how I feel. And so even though the Bills got that lead into the first half, I was like, I don't trust it. I don't trust it yet. We'll see. And boy, oh boy, did we see. Right. So the way that game went, that the offense, I hate to say I expected it because I didn't really, right? The issue with the second half offense really showed itself again, but I thought that they would have fixed the problems, and they didn't. And it just got worse, progressively worse throughout the game. We know what happened. No sense in me rehashing it all. But Josh just looks like a shell of himself in the second half of the game. I don't know what's going on with Josh, but coughed up the ball at the goal line, you know what I'm saying? Gave an easy 7 points. And then that last drive looked like, oh, we're going to win it. And then all of a sudden, Josh does what he's been doing, throwing red zone interceptions. Lost the game. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Left such a pit in my stomach. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Brian Bowers? What's up, man? Yeah, I mean, there was a pit in my stomach. And I just couldn't shake. It was hard for me to shake myself loose from that game. It really was. Because I just like, man, come on. There's no way these Bills are going through this again. There's no way these Bills are looking like this. They're so much better than what they're putting out on the field the past few weeks, right? It was bad. But you know what's not bad? It's the fact that we got a super chat coming in here already from my man James. James was good. I appreciate it. He's already chiming in saying, yo, look, Rep, no, this was primarily on bad coaching and poor decisions from them. I give Frazier a pass because of the banged up secondary, but not McDermott and Dorsey. James, I think you're spot on. And I would throw Josh Allen in the mix. And we are going to get into all of that here in this show. So you guys stick with me. But after that game, as bad as I felt, and you know, I'm trying to process it, right? As I'm sure many of you were too. I was trying to put things in perspective, right? Because I have a tendency. I don't know if you guys are any or like me at all, but when I fan hard, and I go all in with my fandom. Okay, I am emotionally invested in this team. My wife would tell you, my kids would tell you, right? I get emotionally attached and invested in this team in every game, right? And over the years, I've tried to temper my emotions or temper my expectations of this team, right? But it's been hard to do so when you look at how great this team is and how great they've been. You look at the turnaround. This is a legitimate Super Bowl contending team. So I've embraced that, right? I've embraced it. I've tried to get rid of that whole drought era Bills fandom type of thing, right? Where it's all the, oh, woe is me, same old Bills. No, forget that. We're a different team. This is a new era, right? And so I've embraced it, but I'm still emotionally attached and emotionally invested. I'm all in when it comes to these Bills and these games. And so I was heavily involved, heavily emotionally involved. Man, I put a picture out there at the end of the game showing my, one of my chairs that I sit in. I threw it on the ground. I was like, I tossed it. I was like, forget it, man. This game is ridiculous. On the ground. That's where it stayed for a while. But nevertheless, trying to process it and trying to put it in proper perspective, because I know last year, there was a moment last year where I felt the same. If you guys remember correctly, last year, the Bills found themselves in a funk, right? Losing to the likes of the Jags, right? But then when you look at November, I think it was in November of last year. When you look at November of last year, they didn't play too well, right? I mean, they lost against the Jags, right? 9-6. Terrible game. Then they beat the brakes off the Saints Thanksgiving, right? We know what happened in that game also because Trey White got injured. But then, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead of myself. After the Jags game was the Jets game where we beat them 45-17. Then we went to the Colts. Then we played the Colts. We hosted the Colts. Got ran all over us, right? And then we beat the Saints on Thanksgiving. So I think we went 2-2 in November. Felt bad. I felt bad, right? Losing games that we should not have lost. And then we lost 2 straight games in December. The Patriots 14-10, that horrible game. And then the Bucks lost in overtime, 27-33. But what am I saying? Last year they were 2-2 in November with a record of 7-3, right after the Thanksgiving game against the Saints. And I was like about to lose myself, okay? But in this year, we're 0-2 currently right now in November with a 6-3 record with still 2 more games left in this month, starting with the Browns and then ending with the Lions for Thanksgiving. So there's still hope, right? But now when you look at December, that's a must win for the Bills, right? The Bills must win December because 3 of those 4 games in December are all divisional games, right? Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, all divisional games, okay? And then you have the Bears sprinkled in there, all right? So there's a lot of football left to be played. And so that's the kind of mindset I'm trying to have as I process, this loss and process where the Bills currently sit, right? I'm like, you know what? They're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. There's a lot of games left to be had, Rev. I'm talking to myself, there's a lot of games. We're going to be okay. The Bills are going to be okay. But, and this is a big but, we cannot get to those games or scenarios in the future before dealing with the present. We must deal with the present, right? It's a must. We cannot get into these future games or the future scenarios and talk about, they got 2 games left in November and they can still win them. And there's, in December, there must win games. We can't get into them yet, right? As much as we may want to have a positive outlook on that, which is good, is fine, right? We cannot get too far ahead of ourselves because there is an issue, or better yet, issues that lie ahead of us, right? In starting right in front of us that we have to talk about, we have to deal with. And that's what we're going to get into right now. That's what we're going to get into right now. And that is, what is plaguing the Buffalo Bills? What is plaguing the Bills? Because the way they've been playing, man, it's been awful. It has been awful. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to like look through it and analyze it and assess it. And man, it's been bad. It really has been bad. And so when I look at it, I'm like, okay, so what are the issues here? Right. What's plaguing them? First and foremost, you know, there's more than one side of the game, right? I mean, I know a lot of us would probably want to look at the offense, but we got the defense and special teams to look at as well. Okay, but for tonight, we're gonna look at the defense and the offense. And before I get into the offense, I'm gonna say the best for last. I want to talk about the defense. Let's talk about the defense. What's plaguing this team defensively? If you had to make a guess, if you could put your finger on it, what has been plaguing the Bills defensively? For me, first and foremost, I have to say, Michael, man, I'm glad you said that, brother. I'm glad you said that. Michael Williams comes in and says, yo, it's injuries. Bing, bing, biggity, bing, like my man Rico would do. Absolutely, man. 100%. First and foremost for me, it's the injuries. It is the injuries, man. I can't look at scheme or the rushing defense or anything like that without first and foremost addressing the injuries. They've been plagued. They have been plagued by injuries. And look, we're not making excuses, right? It's just a fact, right? Facts are not excuses. And these facts have had a negative impact on the outcome of these games. Case in point, we look at our all-pro safety in Jordan Poyer, right? We already know about losing Hyde, right? That absolutely hurt us, right? But we've been without Hyde for a while now. And we tried to adjust. It's hard to. I mean, you can't really replace all pros, okay? I mean, you really can't. So you try to do your best without him, okay? But Jordan Poyer, in my opinion, he is unequivocally the leader of this defense. He is the leader of the defense. I know we want to think it's Tremaine Edmonds by default because he's a middle linebacker. No. To me, it's Jordan Poyer. It is 100% Jordan Poyer. He is the emotional leader of this team. He is the pulse of the defense. He is that guy that gets them charged up, that gets them fired up and ready to go. And I always refer to this clip from last year, but I must show it because you can see the passion, you can feel the passion, and when you hear him talk, you want to run through a freaking brick wall for him. Look at this.
They promise tomorrow, yo. What the you gonna do with your opportunity today? We gotta hit in the mouth. You see how cocky these are running? Man, damn, man. I'm tired of these. It's the end of an era for them tonight. The end of an era. Let's go. We hit, we strap, and we talk. Let's go.
That game last year, Bills fan 1970. Yes, right, man. Patriots game. It still gives me chills, man. When I watch that, how can you not think that Jordan Poyer is the emotional leader of this defense? Johnny Blaze says it right, man. He says Poyer is that dog, man. He is a dog. Absolutely, man. James again says, yo, on D is Poyer. It is, though. He's the emotional leader of that team, of the defense. He gets them fired up, man. Brian Bowers comes in and says, yo, man, God, I love Poyer, man. I love him too, man. I love him too, man. I love him too. But when you look at Jordan Poyer this year, man, he has been hampered with injuries, right? Out of the 8 games that the Bills have played, Jordan Poyer has only played in 5 of them. He's only played in 5 games, and he has missed 3. Okay. You say, well, yeah, but what does it have to do with the Bills losing? I mean, they, next man up mentality, they've been okay. It's all on the offense and Josh. Well, wait, hold on. Pump your brakes a little bit. Okay. Did you know that in the 5 games that Jordan Poyer has played, the Bills have won? Every single one of them. The 5 games that Jordan Poyer has played, the Bills have won. But in the 3 that he has not played, happened to be the 3 that the Bills lost. Every single loss on the Bills' ledger so far has been a game where Jordan Poyer was not playing. He is, and I agree with you, JP Fortier. Man, he is all pro for a reason. He is, man. He absolutely is. This guy means so much to the defense and to this team because they're able to do so much with these guys. I mean, when you have Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde playing together, 2 of the best safety tandems in the National Football League, you talk about disguising defenses and all. Man, look, they do so much. You lose Hyde, it's tough. It's tough, right? To try to replicate what those 2 guys are able to do. But you lose both of them? And we've seen it. We saw it in Miami, right? Did we not? We saw it with the Jets. And we saw it last game against the Vikings. Having him out is a huge blow to this defense, especially the secondary. It's tough to come back from that. Okay? It's tough. And then on top of that, we've got Tremaine Edmonds dealing with a groin injury, right? And do you think it ironic that as soon as Tremaine Edmonds left the game last week, all of a sudden the Vikings passing offense started to make hay, started to exploit matchups, and started to get in the groove? When Tremaine Edmonds left the game, that's when things started clicking for the Vikings offense. I have been on record as being a huge criticizer of Tremaine Edmonds, right? Because I mean, and it's not. I mean, it's warranted, right? Because we've all seen some of the issues with Tremaine. But man, when you look at Tremaine Edmonds and you look at what he's able to do for this defense, especially in coverage and the depth that he gets in coverage, essentially erasing the middle of the field in the second level, you can't replace that. I'm sorry, Tyrell Dodson cannot replace Tremaine Edmonds. You got 6'5", 250 with that wingspan, that athleticism, that speed. You cannot replace that with anybody. And we saw that last week. It's tough. It's tough to lose Edmonds and Poyer. Ant-Man says the same thing. Yo, Edmonds covers a lot of ground, and he's freaking huge. Absolutely, he's huge. He covers a ton of ground. Just watch him, man. Watch the film on him. He covers a lot of ground. And he was frustrating Kirk Cousins early in that game. You saw it. Kirk couldn't get anything over the top of Edmonds. He was all over the place. So defensively, man, the injuries have really plagued this team, right? And it has had a direct impact on the outcome of these games. And then we look further defensively. You look at another issue. I think it's the depth at safety, right? Because when you look, you've already lost Hyde, but now you're losing Jordan Poyer, right? Now we don't know, he may be back this game. I don't know. We'll see. Looks like he practiced, I think, this week. But still, man, with him being in and out, you just don't know. And so the depth at safety is not that great. We know Jaquan Johnson. Initially we thought, okay, we'd be okay with Damar Hamlin, Jaquan Johnson. Jaquan Johnson has just not been that dude. He got replaced, essentially. We saw that, right? Damar Hamlin has been a bright spot, okay, right? He's fine. He's still no Poyer, but he's pretty good, okay? He's a tackling machine. I love his physicality in the run game. Jamar Hamlin has been showing and proving himself to be pretty good. Okay. But behind him, we inserted Cam Lewis into the safety spot against the Vikings. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe this was his first time playing safety. And they started him. We saw what happened. Right? 4th and 18. And no doubt he was upset at the end of the game. We all saw that clip, right? He was talking about it. He was distraught. He should have been, right? And I'm not trying to, just get on the guy. I'm not gonna hammer him. You know what I'm saying? Just inexperience. But what I don't understand though is you got a guy like Dean Marlowe who Brandon Beane just traded for at the deadline. 2 games after the trade deadline, and he is still not playing. Why is Dean Marlowe not playing? You cannot tell me that Dean Marlowe does not know the defense. He's been here before. He knows the defense. I don't know what's going on in that locker room. I don't know what McDermott is doing, what he's thinking. But Dean Marlowe should be playing over Cam Lewis. He's a safety who has experience in this defense. And he's a big safety. Maybe we see him against the Browns. I hope so. Because there's a lot of questionable issues, man, that I have that I just do not understand what's going on. I just do not understand. Vera, I appreciate your super chat. Vera comes in saying, peace, fam. Love your show. Check your IG inbox. Hashtag mafia. All right, Vera, I appreciate that. So I'm just not sure what's going on defensively, right? Especially the decision making as it relates to personnel. These issues are what's plaguing the Bills defense. And that's not to mention some, and I've already talked about it last week, some guys that I think need to put up or shut up, guys like Ed Oliver and the likes, you know what I'm saying? But Ed Oliver had a pretty decent game last against the Vikings, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I think the biggest issue lies in the injuries. How is Tremaine Edmonds, right? Is this going to be a nagging injury that he's going to have to probably try to play through the rest of the year? How long is he going to be out? I don't know. But it's going to be tough to replace him. And then Jordan Poyer in and out of the game. It's tough. It is tough, ladies and gentlemen. But then number 3 on the defense, to me, it's got to be Tre'Davious White. We have to see Trey White. Okay. I mean, if the Vikings game didn't do it for you, I don't know what is. We need Trey White on this field. I'm assuming he's not 100% because if you know what I'm saying, there's no way he wouldn't be playing if he was not 100%, right? If he was 100%, surely McDermott wouldn't leave him on the sideline, right? But we saw right now against the Vikings, namely Justin Jefferson, we had absolutely no answer for that guy. None. I knew you weren't going to be able to stop him, but goodness gracious. What happened there? Can you put 2 guys on him? Dane Jackson got cooked. He was exposed. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Dane Jackson got exposed that game. Justin Jefferson ate him alive. And then when we tried to look like we had, double coverage on him, Damar Hamlin, Cam couldn't. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So I need Trey White. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I definitely need to see me some Trey White. And Nnamdi comes in, Nnamdi, I appreciate that, man. You are 100% correct. 85% of Trey is still better than all the cornerbacks on the squad. Facts. I need Trey White, man. I do. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a mental thing with him. I mean, and I'm not harping on him either, right? Because I understand, man, you come back from that kind of an injury, you want to make sure that not only are you right physically, but mentally, right? You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that yourself is correct, that you're ready to go. You don't want to doubt because that's a reactionary position, right? And you want to be able to move and react without thinking about, dang, if I make this cut, am I going to re-aggravate or re-injure myself? So I get it, but man, oh man, do we need Trey White? We absolutely need him. I saw somebody in here talk about Trey White could possibly be here Thanksgiving. Where to go? I think it's Drew. There you go. Drew Jenga said, yo, Trey will be back on Thanksgiving, shaking my head, unfortunately. But Trey and Poyer are definitely needed. I hope Trey White is here against the Browns. You know what I'm saying? I want him to play. I do. Hopefully he's healthy enough to play against the Browns. And at least get him some work against the Browns, right? I hope they don't like try to hold him until Thanksgiving to try to make it like a 1-year anniversary type of thing, where I hope they don't do that garbage because you just cost your team. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case. But nevertheless, man, yeah, we definitely need Trey White back. I'm going through some of these comments. I want to see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Brian Bowers comes in. He says, yo, again, this is on Frazier. How do you have a 6th round rookie and a 7th round Dane Jackson routinely going one-on-one with Justin Jefferson? Your guess is as good as mine, B. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know anymore. Honestly, I just don't know. Surely, you could have done something, right? You look at your corner struggling. Dane Jackson struggling against Justin Jefferson, to be expected, right? Put Cam Lewis up there. You know what I'm saying? Bracket. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Put 2 of them on the line together. If you can adjust your defense to where you want to shut somebody out, you can completely shut him out. Because outside of Jefferson, they had nobody else going for him. Nobody. Dalvin Cook, he had that one large, you know what I'm saying, run, but that was it. That was it. No Adam Thielen. TJ Hawkinson didn't really do much. It was the Justin Jefferson show in the second half. Now, you mean to tell me that you can't make adjustments and shut that guy out? Please, man. You got to, Brian. You got to double him, man. You got to double him all game and make someone else beat you. Man, I'm pressing him. I'm pressing him. I'm putting Dane Jackson right on him at the line with Cam Lewis right over the top. You are not beating us. Shutting you out, riding you out of bounds. I don't care. All game. I don't care. Kyer Elam is going to have to take care of Adam Thielen. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever else is lined up against him. And I'm okay with Teron Johnson and Matt Milano. I'm okay. I think we would have been fine. But they would like, you know what? We're going to be okay. Dane Jackson, you're all right against one of the best receivers in the National Football League. Cam Lewis, please, man, that was terrible. Terrible. Coaching has to play a part in this, 100%. But now it's time to move to the offensive side of the ball. Man, Scott Blakely, don't you say that, man. Do not say that, Scott. Scott Blakely is man, look here. He's trying to give some people some nightmares. Now, he is saying, incoming 200+ yards rushing for Cleveland. Do not say that, Scott. That cannot happen. Okay? That cannot happen. Oh, my gosh. I don't even want to think about that. But it's something that this Bills defense needs to be ready for 100%. Because Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, in the snow, they coming. This is a game that they want. And I hope it's not a rematch of. I hope it does not. Oh man, I cannot deal with another Bills Patriots game from last year. I can't deal with another one. 14-10. We all know that crap game. I cannot where they just ran the ball all game long. They better not do that this game against the Browns. They better not. They better. I'm gonna lose myself. All right. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I got to move on. So we talked about the defense, right? Was plaguing the Bills' issues. Injuries, absolutely. Depth at the safety position is not that good. We definitely need Trey White back. Coaching has a lot to do with it as well. But now let's move on to the offensive side of the ball. And this is probably where we're going to spend the majority of the time tonight is dealing with the offense, right? We've got to talk about the offensive side of the ball. But before we get into that, man, make sure you guys smash that like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications, and let's keep it moving. But I'm gonna solicit some assistance here as we start to transition and talk about the offensive side of the ball here. My man, you give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're ready. Okay, so he's good. Offensively, we've got to talk about it. We have got to talk about it. What is plaguing the Bills' offense? Why is the Bills' offense so bad as it's been? Why has the Bills' offense been as bad as it's been for the past few weeks now, specifically in the second half? When you look at it, first and foremost, to me, I can't go any further without touching on the second half offense. The second half offense is outright atrocious. Outright atrocious. And I'm gonna bring on my man Kev Syracuse. He's joining with me. He's gonna join me, and we're gonna chop this thing out, man. We're gonna chop it up, and we're gonna try to figure out what is going on with this Bills offense and how can we fix it. I see you guys already jumping in here, giving your input, and we're gonna talk about it. There's some great comments in here we're gonna discuss here shortly. But let me bring on my man Kev Syracuse into the stream. Kev, what's good, baby? How you doing, man?
We're good. How are you?
Man, I'm okay. I'm okay, Kev. I'm trying to.
We got a different camera tonight?
Huh? Who, me?
No, the angle looked different tonight.
Oh man, I don't know, baby. I don't know. I think I kind of angled it down a little bit more. But man, Kev, look. I mean, we're talking about the Bills, man. And some of these issues, man, that are plaguing the Bills team. And we talked about the defensive side of the ball, but now we're going to transition into the offensive side of the ball. I know you probably agree with me here because you've written an article already addressing some of these issues about the Bills offense and what's going on with the Buffalo Bills. But it's hard for me not to immediately look to the second half Bills offense. When you look at the second half of the Bills offense, man, what stands out to you the most?
Well, I might as well just get right into it. So the thing that sticks out to me the most, especially in the second half here, is that the Bills completely abandoned the run. And more so this past week than last week against the Jets. Now, in the first half against Minnesota, it looked like, I don't want to say the Jets game was a fluke, but it looked like the Bills figured everything out, and they figured out how to be balanced. Devin Singletary finally had his 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. James Cook had a couple nice runs. We still didn't see anything from Nyheim Hines. We'll get into that more.
Yeah.
But they looked balanced. They were mixing in the run with the pass. They scored 24 points. The defense was looking pretty sharp. 24-10 at the half. Great. So you're thinking, okay, we're up by 17 points with just under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. We have a quarterback who's nursing an elbow injury. And Devin Singletary is having arguably one of the best, the most productive games of his season so far. Yeah. And you want to kill the clock. So you would think that all signs point to running the ball, correct? But yet, Rev, the Bills ran the ball 7 times in the second half. 7. That's it. The running backs only touched the ball.
That's terrible. Yeah.
And I've been using this word every time I've been talking about it, but it really is just mind-boggling. Well, words, I guess so 2 words right there. Mind-blowing, mind-boggling. I just can't fathom how a Super Bowl favorite team wants to run the ball only 7 times with all those scenarios that I just laid out. It's just unacceptable.
Yeah, it makes no sense, man, because Devin Singletary in the running game was they were cooking. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like when they went to him, he was effective, and you started to see it. And like you mentioned about the balance, it was working. It was keeping the defense, on their heels. But going into the second half, that's what I just don't understand. I don't understand what the thinking was behind that. You know what I'm saying? Like why would you want to, especially with the lead? What was the lead going into the second half? Was it 2017 or was it 17? What was it? What was the lead?
It was 24-10, and then they ended up kicking that field goal. So the Bills are up 27-10.
Yeah, 27-10.
I believe a minute 50 left in the third quarter.
Yeah. And so you have that lead, and then you just decide to abandon kind of what helped you out. And to me, Kev, it seems as though like when you have a lead like that and you're going into, I mean, you're well into the third quarter by the time. You want to run the ball even the more so, right? Because this is now how you close these games out. You run the ball, run the clock out, limit the possessions that the Vikings have, right, to catch up when you have that lead. That's how you keep these leads, and that's how you extend them. Why do you think Ken Dorsey just decided to completely abandon it in his, in the second half and going into the third quarter like that? Do you have any idea as to why? Any wild guess? It makes no sense.
I really have no idea. And the thing that I took away from his press conference, because as you know, I usually watch the press conferences and then I write articles, and then obviously you guys can find those on our website, thebuffalofanatics.com. I have all this covered. I carved it out. I went into a deep dive because, Rev, I'm sure you know, we are in the middle of a snowstorm here, so I can't do much else right now other than talk about the Bills. So here we go, as it is snowing as we speak here. But yeah, I took a deep dive into this because I was just so baffled that they really did that. And I wanted to do a space so bad, but if you guys don't know, we got locked out of our Twitter account for some reason, and we can't get back on. So I can't do the post-game space like normal. So that's why I contacted Rev, and I was like, hey, like if you need someone to come on and talk about the offense, like let's do it, because I need to just express my emotions here, because I just don't understand how they can do that. But I think the one thing that I took away from that, or the one answer that I might have, is that they think that they're the Buffalo Bills. And what I mean by that is,
oh man, say it, Kev. Say it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, say it.
They think we have Josh Allen, who is one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the league, and he is going to win us games. And everything that we do runs through Josh Allen. He is the MVP of our team and the MVP of the league. And let's see you try to stop him. And we're going to put everything on his shoulders because he is Josh Allen.
Right.
And I think that's where it catches up to him, because you can't put everything on Allen's shoulders. And I'll get into it a little bit more, but there was a quote from Dorsey where he pretty much said, he's like, we're going to play Buffalo Bills football. And again, I don't want to spoil it because we'll get into it more, but it just kind of clicked. It hit me. I was like, he is kind of admitting what we've been thinking. Like, we're the Buffalo Bills and you're the New York Jets. You're the Miami Dolphins. You're the Minnesota Vikings. So we're the Super Bowl favorites. Let's see if you can stop us.
Yeah, see, and that to me is as arrogant and as cocky as you can get, right? Especially coming from a McDermott coach team where he believes in being humble and hungry, right? Humility, having that humble approach, right? Having a healthy respect of your opponent. It seems like Dorsey is quite cocky and arrogant. I mean, if you just look at the way that he's coaching this team, the offense, and some of the things that he says, he even doesn't really put a whole lot of blame on himself. I don't know if you've caught that or not, but he doesn't really put a whole lot of onus on himself. He likes to talk to the players and say, execution this, execution that. I've noticed a big difference between him and Brian Daboll. When Daboll was confronted with some of these issues, man, he put the whole blame on himself. Like, this is me. I've got to coach better. I got to put these guys in a better position to win and to play better. Dorsey is not really doing that. He seems like he's just that guy that head dude where he's just thinking like, this is a play. The play should work. Execute. If it doesn't work, it's because of execution, not because I'm calling a bad play or this play really shouldn't. I'm saying he's just too cocky and then leaning too much on Josh Allen, which is huge. I'm glad you said that because I think I have even mentioned it before the season started. Like, look, is this team too Josh Allen heavy? Like, are we too reliant upon Josh Allen? It's great that we have a quarterback of this stature, right? This ability that's like second to none currently right now in the National Football League. But how much longer can you continue to put all of this upon his shoulders and to say, we've got Josh Allen and that's all we need? When you're not getting any help, any assistance from your secondary players, your complementary players, or your coaches, like this can only go on like this for so long. And we're starting to see that. Guess what? Josh Allen doesn't have that big S on his chest. He's not Superman. He is not Superman. He's not invincible. He cannot do it by himself. And I think that he's feeling the weight and the pressure of having to be like that, probably even from his coach, to where now he's pressing and he's doing things that he shouldn't be doing, things that we didn't see him doing probably as far back as his rookie year. But now it's starting to bite himself in the. I'm starting to bite the Bills in the butts, man. And this is something that we cannot continue to have. So I'm glad you brought that up about Ken Dorsey, because man, he has that kind of aura about himself, man. Like, with the Buffalo Bills, stop us if you want to. Nah, well, you're starting to see teams are stopping you. And go ahead, man. You had mentioned about some other things too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the execution thing, because as I was listening to him and writing the article, I was like, man, I don't want to put this narrative out there that Dorsey doesn't hold himself accountable and he blames his players. But I'm glad you said that, because as I was sitting there, I'm thinking like, man, like he seems to blame execution more than play calling. Like, I want to hear him say, I put Josh in a bad position, and that's why we're starting to see some of these interceptions. Whereas he's saying, yeah, Josh will get smarter. He just has to learn to not throw those balls. In other words, like, yeah, these are our plays because we're the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to keep calling them, but Josh just has to be smarter. And you see Josh on the other side where he's just like, this is all my fault. And he doesn't hang his head because he's very mentally strong. But in that post-game presser, his head was down here. He couldn't even look at the reporters, and he just kept saying, this sucks. I sucked. It's all on my shoulders. And Dorsey.
See, I hate to interrupt you, but I think doesn't that have to do with coaching? Like if he's getting that from Dorsey, right? And we see that we've heard the mantra. He even put it. I mean, on there. We play smart, not conservative. Right? That's kind of been his thing. Smart, not conservative. So he's coaching them to be very aggressive but play smart. And so like if you're not executing, then it's almost like a knock. Well, you're not playing smart football, Josh. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with me. It's the fact that you're not playing smart. You know what I'm saying? And so now he's on top of the weight of the world that's on his shoulders, right? That he has of being Josh Allen and MVP this and Super Bowl this. He's having the pressure from his coach, you know what I'm saying, who's not really owning up to a lot. At least he's not doing it, and publicly. And so you're starting to see this dejected Josh now at times that we're like, what's up, man? Like, what is going on? I think it's something that we need to look out for, man, because it could have certain effects that could bleed not only just in Josh Allen, but it could impact other players on the offense. But we're not going to put that out there like that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that's a virtual certainty, but it is something that we need to be looking out for.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that other quote too, because I might as well just pull it up, because I was sitting there and I'm like, man, he's really not giving juicy answers. And we're used to that from the Bills. Like, they are very tight-lipped. They don't say anything, especially with McDermott. Yeah. And Dorsey is kind of doing the same thing where he's just saying, like, we got to be better. We got to learn from this. We got to execute better. Now, he did say a couple times, we got to put our players in better position. But like you were saying, he said execution more times than he said my fault. So I was like, man, there's really not too much to pull from this interview here. Like, how am I going to go about writing this article? And then I realized that he said at least 4 or 5 times, smart, not conservative. And that really stuck out with me, because let me pull up here the main quote. He said, I think the biggest thing is we just got to make sure we're staying ourselves, playing Buffalo Bills offensive football. We're playing smart, not conservative, playing fast, physical, and disciplined ball. We're executing our assignment. We're doing our jobs. And that right there was all I needed to hear, because to me, that says, hey, we're not going to change our play calls at all. We're going to keep doing what works best for us, because we're the Buffalo Bills, and we just need to execute better. And I hope I'm wrong, because they say that they need to improve. And McDermott was kind of on the opposite side, where they were like, Sean, what's going on with your second half offense? And he listed a few things, and he was like, the thing that stuck out from McDermott's side, for me at least, he said style of offense. And as soon as I heard that, now I don't want to start this false narrative, because it was a huge story last year, and I don't think it needed to be, the relationship between Sean McDermott and Brian Dable, because Dable wanted to throw, McDermott wanted to run. But we don't know that. But just hearing those two quotes, I'm just like, man, Is there something going on behind the scenes that we don't know where McDermott's saying, like, yeah, we need to run the ball more. Our style of offense is not working right now. And Dorsey is saying, well, I'm a quarterback myself. Josh is a great quarterback, and I want to stay aggressive. I'm going to stay in an attack mode because we have arguably the best quarterback and the best wide receiver. So, like you said, that might be a situation to monitor. And again, I'm not trying to put this out there and spread the word like, oh, what's the relationship like between McDermott and Ken Dorsey? But that is something to watch for. And I don't know if you saw this, Rev, but John Morrow tweeted the other day, I believe it was, what's today, Wednesday? It might have been Monday night. He tweeted that there is some internal problems with the Bills. And take that for what you will, because people are saying on Twitter, it's just John being John, trying to drum up some noise to get attention. But there might be something there. And I'm wondering if that has any links to what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no telling, man. But because we know, I mean, we knew this even from last year that Sean McDermott wants balance, right? He wants balance on offense. He doesn't want Josh slinging the ball like he does. He wants to have a running game when you need to run the ball. And so that was kind of like, I guess, some of the rub with Dorsey at times. And then so we expected it to be different this year under Ken Dorsey. But it seems as though it's kind of much of the same, just packaged differently, where they really just don't care to run the ball at all, and so that very well could be the issue that's in the building. I'm not too sure, man, but it's definitely intriguing, right, when you think about it, because everybody, like, you don't have to be. You don't have to be a football guru or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to not see that there's some serious issues going on offensively, right?
Yeah, like we're sitting here for free on our couches saying run the ball, and they're getting paid millions to make these just weird, crazy calls to think that they're not going to run the ball when they're up by 17 and they're trying to kill the clock. Like, it's just like, do you want me to come do this for free?
Yeah, it's really mind-boggling, like you mentioned earlier. But you know what? And this goes back to that whole, well, I mean, dang, maybe there is something going on, because I don't understand. I don't see how Dorsey, at least maybe not. I mean, I don't know if he's doing it in private, but at least he hasn't done it in public. I don't see how he cannot own up to this when you see this glaring issue with the second half offense. It is night and day. And let me tell you exactly what I mean. So, just the past 3 games, okay, we're going back to we got the Vikings, the Jets, and then the Packers. The past 3 games, when you look at this offense, in the first half of these past 3 games, the Bills offense has scored a total of 58 points in the first half. 58 points in the first half, going back to those last 3 games. In the second half of those same 3 games, the offense has just scored a measly, pathetic 12 points. How do you go from a total of 58 first half points in the past 3 games to a total of 12 second half points in those same 3 games? And it's not your fault, or you don't have some blame lied upon your shoulders. How can you not say that as a coach? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Defenses are not just
Buffalo fanatics. What's going on? This is Pierre the Kingpin, and I wanted to talk to you today about Cigars International, which is the ultimate destination for premium homemade cigars. Known as the industry leader, Cigars International offers the largest selection, unbeatable prices, and a customer service experience that's second to none. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned vet, Cigars International makes enjoying cigars easy, approachable, and fun. Cigars International is the go-to retailer for all things cigars, with the biggest selection of premium homemade cigars available anywhere. Cigars International offers unbeatable deals and discounts, making it easy to stock up on your favorite or try something new without breaking the bank. With fast free shipping and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence knowing that Cigars International stands behind every order. They have good relationship with vendors that helps provide great low prices. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned pro, Cigars International makes it easy to find the right cigar with helpful guides, staff reviews, and expert advice. It's not just about cigars. Cigars International also offers a wide range of accessories and more to elevate your smoking experience. Check out the great deals every day at cigarsinternational.com. That's cigars, CIGARS, international.com. Use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics and the discount will automatically apply. Again, use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics and the discount will automatically apply.
All of a sudden, second half, figuring the team out and shutting them down like that. That's a huge point difference, right? Huge. And so, man, look, I'm looking at Ken Dorsey straight up in his eyes. I'm like, yo, this is on you. As much as it is on everybody else, it starts from the top. And I need Dorsey to hold himself accountable before he tries to hold players accountable for lack of execution. Now, granted, there are some moments where Allen and the others are not executing the plays, right? There, we've seen that, and we're going to touch on that here in a minute too. But dadgummit, man, look, I need my coach from the top, Ken Dorsey, to say, look, this is on me. I own this. 12 points in the past 3 games is completely unacceptable in the second half. I own it. We will fix it. I needed to hear him say that and then show me something that proves that this is going to be different. That's a huge problem. The second half offense is completely anemic, Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you saw my tweet, Rev. Actually, probably because I shared it in the chat. So these are the Bills' second half point totals versus their opponents before and after the bye, which was in week 7. So before, in the third quarter, they were outscoring their opponents 51-7 in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, 33-10. After the bye, they are getting outscored 17-6 in the third. And then in the fourth quarter, they're getting outscored 23-6. So doing some quick math, they're getting outscored, 40-12 in the second half ever since the bye. And they were riding so high after that Kansas City game. They were on top of the world. Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that, the Hurdle Avenue. Like, holy cow, that was just an all-time moment for the Bills in the regular season. And it just came to a crashing halt. And, it started with the Packers, and you're thinking, okay, no big deal. We're 6-1. The Packers just, wanted to run the ball out, and maybe the Bills got a little too cocky, whatever. Like, they're trying to squeeze out a little bit too much, but we'll come back next week because we're only playing the Jets, right? Mm-hmm. Wrong. Okay, well, we're 6-2. We'll just come back and play the Vikings. Well, there we go. All of a sudden, we're 6-3. And I think it comes back to what you were just saying, that they need to seriously look themselves in the mirror and say, what are we doing? And how can we fix this? And, it starts with me.
Yeah, it 100% starts with the coaching. I mean, even I don't know if you guys saw it or if you saw it, Kev, but Dan Orlovsky, he had put out a tweet. I think it was yesterday, where he was just kind of he had broken down, I think, like 5 plays that were, I guess, I think in his opinion, he said these 5 plays, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it, what I'm saying, basically cost the Bills, the game. And they were like a 2nd and 2, I mean, or third, I think it was like 3rd and 2, and then 2nd and 2, or maybe in 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, you guys look it up on his page on Twitter. I would share it, but for some reason, whenever I try to share it on Twitter, the volume goes out. But essentially, he got to the point where this is what he had mentioned at the end. He had said that, and when he was breaking it down, they essentially had about 3 passing plays, right, in these scenarios, especially in the red zone. So I think only 2, or may have been only 1 run. Okay. And he said this that really stuck out to me, man. And And I'm like, this is likely true. He said in response to the running game or the Bills not running, like, why are they not running the ball in these scenarios? He said they don't want to, they won't, and they can't. He put that out there, man, as like, look, this is an issue, man. Like, why are they not running the ball in these scenarios? Is they don't want to. They don't want to run the ball. And I'm thinking he may be right, because how can you not want to run the ball? I'm not saying that the Bills need to all of a sudden change their entire philosophy on offense and be this ground and pound team. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, why are you abandoning something that's working? All right. Yeah, I mean, you had mentioned it earlier, Kev. I mean, about just the touches, right, from the running backs from first half to second half. It doesn't make any sense. There's certain scenarios in which the Bills need to continue to run the ball. Now, I did see somebody here in the comment section bringing something out. I think it was a Brew. Brew Crew Fishing. He comes in. He says, "Yo, Josh is changing plays, man." Now, I'm not too sure about that. I'm not privy to that information. I don't know if we can know for sure, for certain, whether or not he is in fact changing plays. I don't know if Ken Dorsey has made any mention of that or not. Maybe, I don't know if Josh is checking out of run plays. I don't know, Kevin. I mean, what are your suspicions about that, man? Do you think Josh is, maybe there are run calls, but Josh is checking out of them because for whatever reason he doesn't want to run the ball and he's calling Pat? I'm not too sure, man. But what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I have heard some things about that, and I think there is some truth to it, because as Josh has ascended in the league, he's gotten more control of this offense. And, a few years ago, on that 4th and 2, we wouldn't have seen McDermott go for that. McDermott is that tough defensive coach where he's like, hey, we're going to win with field goals and defense and rushing. And then Josh comes in and he's like, hey, he's never going to say, I'm Josh Allen, I have one of the best arms in the league, because he's not cocky. But Josh is so competitive that he's going to say, trust me, coach, I can go get these 2 yards for you. And I think because of all the highlight plays that we've seen from Allen and all the clutch plays that we've seen, McDermott is even saying, yeah, I think he's right. We have to go for this. Because in 2019, I don't think we would have seen that from McDermott. I think McDermott still had the final say in this team, where he's like, nope, we're going to kick the field goal. But because Josh Allen is such a huge figure in the NFL right now, and he has played at just a crazy level up until these last few weeks here, I think we've seen McDermott kind of loosen his grip a little bit and say, all right, Josh, this is your offense, so you can call the plays if you want. So I think there is some truth to that, because they're never going to say that. But I wonder, when Dorsey says we need to execute better, I wonder if that's him trying to cover up Allen by saying, yeah, like, he wouldn't want to blame Allen and say, well, Josh is not running the plays that I'm calling. He's changing at the line of scrimmage. So maybe he wants to cover and protect Allen and just say, like, hey, if you want to change my plays, then you better go execute them. So maybe when he says we need to execute better, that's actually what he's talking about. I don't know. I mean, there's so much to this that, like, I don't want to just start these false narratives and start guessing, because as a whole, Allen needs to be better, Ken Dorsey needs to be better, and Sean McDermott need to be better. So I don't want to sit here and try to figure out who's saying what or who's doing what, but I think there is some truth to that, where maybe they do call a run play and Josh will check out of it and just say, no, like, I'm confident that we can go get 5 yards with Diggs or something.
Yeah, I mean, he likely is doing it. I mean, because he does have full reins of the offense too. So I mean, I wouldn't doubt that he's checking out of some of these run plays. I would like to know why he's doing it, what he's seeing that's causing him to check out of them. But I think it's a combination of Dorsey and Josh, right? I mean, because you can't go from the offense that you see in the first half to the offense that we've seen in the second half, and not be a combination of both, right? I mean, like both of these guys have to shoulder some of this blame, because it's been absolutely terrible. Another issue that we've seen here from the offense, man, is just the red zone offense. It's been looking very, very bad, man. When you talk about the red zone, what are some of your initial thoughts, man, about the Bills' red zone offense, and how do you think that they can rectify some of these problems?
Yeah, it's just weird, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Allen didn't have a red zone interception in his first 2, 3, 4 years even. Like he just
Yeah,
never threw.
something like that was out there, man. Yeah, he was. I can't remember the exact stat, but yeah, it was something like that. It's been pretty crazy how he's been throwing the ball up like that, man.
Like he never threw interceptions in the red zone, and now that's all he does. So
Yeah.
I don't get it, but I think it just comes down to what we are just saying. Allen needs to be better, and Dorsey needs to be better. And
Mhm.
before I get into it, I kind of want to break it down in terms of the running attack versus a passing attack, and just the different philosophies and formations that we've seen,
Mhm.
and how they can improve. Because I like how you brought up that Dan Orlovsky thing. So if you
Mhm.
don't mind,
Yeah,
can we
go
get
ahead.
into the running game a little bit, and then we can transition back into the passing game?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so again, I took a deeper dive in the article, and I want to do the same thing here. So
Mhm.
again, Bills running back rushing attempts after halftime. Devin Singletary had 4, James Cook had 2, Duke Johnson had 1, Nyheim Hines had 0. Rushing attempts in the fourth quarter and overtime. Devin Singletary had 1, which was the first play of the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
James Cook had 1, which was with 12:50 left in the game. And then Duke and Nyheim Hines each had 0. So that's a huge issue. Now, I've never been
Yeah.
a guy that says, oh, we need to play like the 1970s and we're going to go
Right.
beat you with defense and a strong rushing attack. This is ground and pound. We're playing in Buffalo. It's cold and snowy. So we're going to go run the ball 30 times. No. Again, the Bills have Josh Allen. He is still one of, if not the most talented quarterback in the league.
Mhm.
And that is your bread and butter. Allen, Diggs, and the rest of the wide receivers. That being said, I don't care what year it is or how dynamic the league has shifted, you have to have somewhat of a rushing attack. You have to be able to run in certain situations to keep your offense balanced and the opposing defense honest. And you have to be able to take that pressure off of Josh Allen. And
Right.
to only run the ball 7 times in the second half and 2 in the fourth quarter, which essentially don't even count because, like I said, that was within the first 2-3 minutes of that
Right.
quarter.
Yeah.
That is a huge issue. And on top of that, you trade for a guy like Nyheim Hines who gets 6 snaps. He has 1 catch for 9 yards, and that's all you use him for. You elevate Duke Johnson. He has a couple rushes, but the Bills had 6 active running backs. That's a huge point that I forgot to
Mhm.
mention. 6 active running backs, and they run the ball 7 times.
Yeah,
So
that made no sense
I
to me.
don't get it.
Yeah, that made I was looking, when the active and inactive list came out just before the game, and we saw that, we were all kind of baffled by the amount of running backs that they had active, and we're like, and I was thinking, okay, maybe this is a game where they decide to utilize these backs out of the backfield in the passing game, like maybe they decided to incorporate James Cook and Nyheim Hines into the passing offense against the Vikings, and hopefully that's what we see, but we didn't see any of that. I don't know what. Like, why did you have all those backs active if you didn't even use them? Like Nyheim Hines, that one right there made 0 sense to me. You know what? There was an article. Well, I saw this on Reddit earlier today, and I want to pull this up. And matter of fact, I think I'm gonna share it. Let me see if I can share it here because I thought this was very interesting, and it just made it. I was questioning some of the same thing that this person had put on their Reddit account, and so let me share it here. Here it is, right here. Can you guys let me know if you guys can see it? So on Reddit, this individual says, "Yo, the Bills traded for Nyheim Hines on the same day Miami traded for running back Jeff Wilson. In 2 games with Miami, Jeff Wilson has 26 rushes for 170 yards and 1 touchdown, with 5 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. In 2 games with Buffalo, Nyheim Hines only has 1 catch for 9 yards and no rushing attempts." It goes on to say, "This is frankly unacceptable, and Bean has to be mad that he picked the guy up and the coaches won't even use him. Meanwhile, a running back traded the same day is feasting in his new offense." What are your thoughts about that, Kevin?
It angers me just seeing that because I think there's a lot of truth to that because
Yes.
like you said, you trade for him, you give up a draft pick and Zach Moss. Again, Zach Moss really wasn't anything special here, and I think a lot of us were happy to see him go. As a person, obviously, we liked him; he was cool.
Yeah.
But as a running back, he essentially did nothing. He was expendable. But you give up all that capital for what? Now, McDermott did say that he is part of our game plan moving forward, and we're going to see more and more of Nyheim Hines. But the fact that they haven't at least tried to sprinkle him in a little bit is again mind-boggling to me. And going back to what you were saying about Dean Marlowe, the same thing. I mean, they trade for these guys,
same exact thing,
and we don't see anything. And the thing that they keep saying is that they're not accustomed to the offense and the defense yet. Like they need more time to just learn the playbook. But I mean, come on, how much time do you need? These guys are NFL players. Yes. How hard is it to say, hey, when we line up in this formation, you're gonna get the ball and run that way and try to score? Like literally, I could go in the backfield and just say, like Josh could be like, hey, Kev, we're gonna hand you the ball here. Okay, cool. Let me go get 5 yards. Or a simple screen pass. Or for Dean Marlowe's sense, I know he's been on the Lions and the Falcons in between the Bills, and they might have changed a few things here and there, but it's the same defense, the same coordinator, the same coach. It's not that hard to get these guys in the lineup. Now, we're not saying that these guys have to play 100% of the snaps, and this goes in line with Trey White, too. Mm-hmm. The fact that he hasn't been activated yet. These guys don't need to play 100% of the snaps, but we got to see a little bit here. I mean, get Dean Marlowe in there, because Cam Lewis did okay, but he struggled at times, i.e. the 4th and 18 pass. Nyheim Hines, he's supposed to be the new speed demon, weapon, whatever you want to call him. And Trey White, man, I would have loved to have his coverage skills on Justin Jefferson the other day. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't understand their refusal to at least try these guys.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know either. Hold on real quick. Tina, I appreciate your super chat, Tina. But if you have a comment, go ahead and drop your comment here in the chat, and I'll go ahead and make sure I read it. But yeah, man, Kevin, I mean, it really makes no sense. I mean, you can easily just sprinkle a package in, right, for Nyheim Hines, come a couple of plays here and there, and tell him this is your responsibility right here in this play. I mean, just a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? So when we call this play, this is what you do. You don't have to throw the entire playbook at the man, you know what I'm saying, and say, oh, he doesn't know the whole playbook, and because he doesn't know the whole playbook, he's not going to be playing for 2 weeks. Like, come on. It's ludicrous, man, when you think about some of these coaching decisions. It's just not making any sense at all to me. I could stay on this whole run game thing, but I don't want to stay on it too much longer. But let's kind of move past the run game and get into the passing game.
I got one thing that I want to add that I think is important to say here. Now,
go ahead.
It really bothers me when people say that the Bills can't run the ball, like with Dan Orlovsky. I don't think that's true. I think the Bills can run the ball. And I know there are a lot of plays where it's like, well, Singletary ran for either 0 yards or 1 yard. Like, I think 2 of those rushes that he had in the second half got stopped right there for no gain. So I think people look at that and say, oh, the Bills can't run the ball. But I think the bigger picture is it's not that the Bills can't run the ball. I think it's the schemes and the concepts, because everything is in between the tackles. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but the Bills always run in between the tackles. They never run any outside zones. How about the pin and the pull? Get your athletic linemen out in space and utilize James Cook's speed, Nyheim Hines' speed, or Duke Johnson for that matter. So play to these guys' skill sets, and then you will reap the rewards of that running game, because I think this could be a very, very well-rounded rushing attack if they use all of their running backs correctly. But they don't, because they just want to plow through the middle. Duke Johnson gets stuffed when he runs up the middle. Johnson is not an HB draw guy. You get him out in space and you utilize his skill set, and you will start to see a better rushing attack and a more balanced offense if they don't call such a vanilla.
And we've seen it, but we've seen it. They're like whenever they run that zone, that stretch zone, that pin and pull where Morse leads, you know what I'm saying? And even when they pull Morse, and I think Dawkins or somebody else, I think is, or maybe Morse and Saffold, regardless, man, it's successful. It is successful. Like, that's their bread and butter. And we are so frustrated with them constantly running the ball up a gut. We've seen them running the ball up a gut. That's not the thing. Even Dable will do the same thing occasionally until like the tail end of last year when they finally started running the ball the right way, and we saw the success that happened. And so I don't understand. And then you bring in a guy like Aaron Cromer, Again, you know what I'm saying? Like, which makes zero sense to me. Anyway, this is frustrating. It's highly frustrating to me because I'm a fan, and I don't know X's and O's like those coaches do. But surely they could, there's a way in which they can figure it out. And maybe McDermott is just kind of letting these guys freelance and have a little bit too much power. Maybe he needs to get in there, you know, and take some control back. I don't know. I'm not going to just start some stuff, but something needs to change and something needs to happen. All right, and so we need to incorporate the run game. We absolutely know that's a must because, like you had mentioned in your article, teams are going to just continue to run that cover two shell, and they see that Josh Allen doesn't want to. He's not patient, right? He doesn't want to do the check down. They don't want to run the ball, and so they're just going to sit in that cover two shell all game long and make them go against what they want to do naturally. And that's going to be up to Dorsey and Allen to get their minds together and understand that, look, this win however you can win. That's what the name of the game is about. Win however you can get a win. If it's moves and counter moves, if they're playing cover two, they're daring you to run the ball, then run the friggin' ball. Run it. Run it as successful as you can, right? And run the ball the right way. Don't just run the ball for the sake of running the ball, but run it in a way that's successful for this offense. And then when you see them starting to come up a little bit, even if you got to run the ball friggin' all game, then do it. Like, this is what I don't get, man. And see, I'm about to get my bag, Kev, because this is what I noticed. And we've seen this for 20 years with Brady and the Patriots. This is why I respect Bill Belichick so much, especially when he had the Patriots and they were in the run. I mean, when he had Brady and they went on that dynasty, man, all that run. They literally would morph into whoever they had to morph into week by week. If they needed to lean on Brady and run and throw the ball, then they did that. If the next week they needed to run the ball, then they did that. They didn't say, oh, well, you know, we got Tom Brady. You don't want to take the ball out of Tom Brady's hands. Yeah, that's stupid to take the ball out of Tom Brady. Man, look, they don't care. They're trying to win the game. And they had the GOAT. Josh Allen is not Tom Brady. He's nowhere near Tom Brady, okay? He's not him. I'm sorry to put it to you like that, but he's not. And he's not Superman. So we cannot expect it to be Josh Allen or nothing. No. Even Josh Allen needs help, okay? And so we saw that with Bill Belichick. Man, they would run the ball if they had to. And they would run the ball all game if that's what they needed to do. And they would get in power formation, I formation, lead blocker, fullback, and they would plow the ball all game long if that's what it took until you prove that you could stop it. And they switched it up, man. That's what this team needs to do. They have the personnel to do it. I just don't understand why they're not doing it. And it must be a mentality thing, like you had mentioned earlier. Well, we're the Buffalo Bills. This is us. This is who we are. You come and stop it. Forget that. Win the game. Do what you got to do to win the game, and then make the defense alter them. So make them change. If you have to switch it up and you have to lean on the running game all game, and Josh only throws the ball 20 times, so be it. If it equals a W, that should be all that matters, man. And we need to talk about Josh Allen too, Kevin. Hold on, man. Let's keep it moving, man, because we're an hour and 17 minutes in here. I don't want to be on here all night. And I appreciate everybody in here who's tuning in. Do us this favor. Drop that like, man. Smash that like for us, and subscribe to the channel as well, and turn on those bell notifications. All right, because you don't want to miss out on anything that's related to the Bills or the Buffalo Fanatics. And then follow my man Kev Syracuse at Kev Syracuse5 on Twitter as well. Kev, let's talk about Josh Allen, man, because I titled the show, does Josh Allen need to shoulder the blame, right? Or how much of the blame does Josh Allen need to shoulder? Look, I get there's a contingency of Bills Mafia out here that when you mention Josh Allen in any type of negative light, if you try to come at him and critique him, man, they bring out the pitchforks. They say, how dare you? It's blasphemous. Josh Allen is our savior. They freaking, make idols, and they worship Josh Allen like he's just the second coming of Christ. I mean, like, come on now. Like, look, I love Josh Allen as much as everybody else does. I love this team as much as everybody else does. But Josh Allen is not above reproach. He is not above reproach. It's okay to criticize or to critique your team and or your favorite player named Josh. It's okay. It doesn't mean you hate the team. It doesn't mean you hate Josh Allen. But look, he's a tough guy. I'm sure he wants tough coaching. So why are his fans just like, oh, it's okay, Josh, poor Josh, oh, you'll be okay? No, don't forget it, man. Look, if he's making mistakes, call him out. He's making mistakes. He's made mistakes that have cost this team in the past 2 games, right? Luckily, it didn't cost him against the Packers, but against the Jets and the Vikings, it definitely cost him. There've been plays to be made, Kev. Like when you look at certain plays, I get it. We talked about Ken Dorsey, and he has to change. He has to alter his thing, right? His coaching and his play calling. But to a degree, there are some issues, with execute. When you look at some of these plays, we see like for instance, we've seen some plays where Josh Allen is looking. Matter of fact, I think that last play, the interception. You look, there is, I think was Motor. I think Devin Singletary was sitting there, wide open for an easy dump off, and instead Josh Allen decides to go gung ho. You know what I'm saying? Wants to be Mr. Hero, right? With a lot of time left on the clock, throws a terrible pass to Gabe Davis. Was short anyway, so even if Patrick Peterson wasn't there, Gabe Davis wasn't catching it. The ball was probably going to get dirted. It was short, but you had Motor Singletary sitting there for a quick dump off. Like what is up with it, man? Like he's like there are is he not seeing the field properly? And how can he if he's not seeing the field properly? What is going on? Like why is he not seeing the field? Because I don't understand what's going on with his vision 5 years into his career so far.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple of minutes ago when you were talking about that the too high safety coverage, and then saying how if they're going to dare us to run, you have to be able to run the ball. And I was going to say that's a perfect segue into the passing attack, because that means if they're going to cover the top of the field and you don't want to run at the bottom of the field, well, top, bottom, what's open? The middle of the field.
Yes.
So, I think it was a good segue. Because, like you were saying, it is Josh's fault. And as much as I love Josh Allen and everyone else here in Western New York, or in your case in Texas, we all love Josh. He's our savior, right? But like you said, you have to be critical in times like this because he is not playing well. But that being said, I think a lot of this falls back on Dorsey too because of the play calls. So I think Dorsey's being arrogant with his play calling and Josh is being arrogant with his arm. And they are both saying, because let's not forget, Dorsey used to be a quarterback in college, right? So they both have that same wiry attitude where it's just like, screw these guys. Let's just go in attack mode and throw all over them.
Yeah.
And I think that might be a negative impact on this team because we were talking about, remember over the summer, how we were saying how Dorsey should be up in the booth to kind of calm Allen down, because if he's on the field, he might get a little too amped up because he's feeling all the emotions from the game. Well, it's almost like someone needs to be in there to calm Dorsey down so Dorsey can calm Josh down, because they both get so ramped up where it's just like, oh my God, they're shutting this down. Well, let's just go throw another 30 yards on them. So I think they're both to blame here. But, going back to the whole Josh thing, as much as I've been putting the blame on Dorsey, Allen needs to see the field better, because you referenced that play with Singletary where it was 2nd and 10, 1:16 left. The ball was on the 20-yard line, I believe, and they had 2 timeouts left. And Singletary was wide open for a check down that would have gotten at least 5 yards, if not more, because the nearest defenders, because they had 2 linebackers sitting at that first down line. So Singletary would have gotten anywhere between 5 to 10 yards, and you still had 2 timeouts to work with. And they call a double post route to the end zone, have Diggs and Davis run into the end zone along with Quentin Morris, and it gets intercepted. And Patrick Peterson, I'm sure you saw that on his podcast, where he was like, from my film study, I knew that's exactly where they were going.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. They run the same plays. We know what's coming because they can read it, because the Bills show no variation. Oh, it's a double post route.
None.
Davis is going to go here. I'm going to jump the route and intercept him. So, again, it just comes back to Dorsey being arrogant with his play calling and Josh being too cocky with his arm, because Josh even admitted, he was like, hey, I tried driving that ball through the back of the end zone and I just didn't get it there. And it's like, come on, man. You had Devin wide open for a little dump off.
Yeah. I mean, he's man, just take the cheese, man. Just take what the defense is giving you, and you will find more success in that. Like we all, like everybody knows you have the strongest arm in the national football. Who cares about that though? You know what I'm saying? Like when you need to count on your arm, then fine. But at this point in time, it wasn't needed, right? It wasn't needed. Take what they're giving you, dump it off to Motor Singletary. Heck, you never know what he could do, right? He had this green grass ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? And so, and that game probably would have been won had he have done that. And so, like, he needs to get out of this. And I'm glad you brought that up, man, about Ken Dorsey and Josh Allen being alike, like being similar in their mentality as quarterbacks, who are just this who have this aggressive mindset. Like, I think that's probably the difference, the major difference between Dorsey and Dable. Dable could control him, you know what I'm saying, to a degree, right? He would kind of control him a little bit. Dorsey kind of seems to feed into that mentality, especially when he's saying things like, "Oh, we play smart, not conservative." You know what I'm saying? Like the whole not conservative thing is like, "Yo, we're gonna be aggressive. This is who we are, but we're gonna be smart at the same time." So it's like, we trust in our ability, trust in Josh, we trust in you and your arm. Do it, but just be smart with it. I mean, like, come on, like we can't, like, there has to be balance in there. Know when to use it, know when not to use it. But we talk. Sean McDermott talks about, do your 111th, right? Do your 111. Josh, you're not 11. You know what I'm saying? You're just one of 11. Trust your other players because they can make plays as well. And I think Josh will be better for it if he does that. And so I'm hoping that going forward, Ken Dorsey sees his flaws, right? And Josh sees them, and they're able to correct it. Because if not, man, like we could be looking at games like this going forward. And it shouldn't be like this, because this team is way too good to be having losses like this against the Jets and then against the Vikings. Even though the Vikings were 7-1, but we were the better team. We were the better team. You have a 17-point lead in the third quarter and you lose it on some buffoonery, right? So they cannot blame anybody else but themselves. And it's just crazy, man. It really is crazy. And I really don't understand it. What I want to do right now, Kev, is I want to go through some of the chat and you scroll through it too, man, and see what the people are saying and see if there's anything in there that pops out to you, man, that we want to touch on, because I want to give the people in the chat an opportunity as well. And you guys also know that, man, super chats get priority. So, man, hey, throw that super chat in there and we'll make sure we go ahead and read your comment on the air. But
first one I saw was from J-Dub. He said Josh and Dorsey are both sugar high, and I think that's the perfect way to say it.
Yeah, man.
Because they both are, dude. They both have that killer mentality where it's just like, F you, we're gonna throw it right at you.
Yes, exactly, man. That's perfect. They both are. And when we saw it, right? I mean, we saw how fiery Ken Dorsey was in that game, right? When they lost and he was just throwing this stuff up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so you can imagine how his personality is impacting Josh on the field, because Josh is that type of competitor as well. So man, we need somebody in there. Somebody needs to be the go-between. I need an arbitrator. Somebody needs to get in between Josh and Ken Dorsey. I would have thought it would have been my man, the quarterback coach. What's his name, man? From Carolina,
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady. Yeah.
Enough. We've rarely heard his name at all this year. Remember last year we heard Brian Dable, Josh Allen, and Ken Dorsey. Well, this year it's just Ken Dorsey and Josh Allen. Like, when have you heard Joe Brady's name? Like, I wonder what that relationship is like.
Really haven't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know either, man, because there needs to be somebody in there who can get between Josh and Ken Dorsey and be like, hey, look, Josh, you need to cool the heck down. You know what I'm saying? Like you're too high right now. Calm all the way down. We got this. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody needs to get in the ear of Ken Dorsey, and it should be Sean McDermott, but we don't know whether or not he is or not. And that's to be determined, right? But still, something needs to happen. But you know what? Namdi makes a great point, and this was something that I was going to bring up, but it slipped my mind, Namdi. So I'm glad you brought this up. Namdi said, we have not talked about the lack of slot receiver productivity. Namdi, man, 100%. I agree with you on this. I think we are definitely starting to see just how much this offense really missed Cole Beasley. Love him, I hate him. Personality, all the kind. Leave all that stuff aside, okay? But just a player on the field, when you look at it on the field and what he was able to bring to this offense, especially Josh Allen, it was invaluable. And now that he's gone, we're starting to see the large void there is in the middle of the field from that outlet guy. That guy who can win his one-on-one matchups versus man or zone. He's quick enough to beat man coverage, but he's smart enough to understand where to sit in the zones and give Josh that easy outlet. Cole Beasley was that guy, and we don't have that guy on offense right now. I mean, we thought that it was going to be Isaiah McKenzie, but I'm not too sure if we really did. Going into preseason and offseason, word out of camp was like, yo, Isaiah McKenzie is looking like that guy, you know what I'm saying? And then we had the unfortunate injury to Jamison Crowder, who was a more experienced slot receiver. And so now, almost by default, it's been Isaiah McKenzie, but he has left a lot to be desired for my taste and my liking on the field. And he's just not showing himself to be that guy. He is not him, okay? And I would love to see more of Khalil Shakir. And this is going to go back to coaching again, because we know Sean McDermott does – I don't know what it is, but McDermott does not like to play the young guys. He likes to lean on his vets almost to a fault. And I think it's getting to that point now where it's to a fault. Like I don't know how much more of McKenzie you need to see to know that he's just not the guy. He's not getting it for you. What are your thoughts, Kev? Real quickly, as we're approaching the hour and a half mark here, what are your thoughts about the lack of the slot receiver productivity, and what do you think is the solution? Is the solution in-house, or could it be somebody who's not currently on this team?
Well, I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can because, like you said, we're at the hour and a half mark here. But I think it falls back on everyone that we just mentioned. McDermott, because he doesn't want to play these young guys. Dorsey, because his scheme just doesn't get these guys open. And then Josh, because if they are open, he doesn't go to them. And that might be because it's intended to go somewhere else, or it might just mean that Josh isn't seeing him. But I agree. I mean, we got to see more of Khalil Shakir. That guy is a playmaker. Every time he touches a field, he seems to make a play. And I like Isaiah McKenzie a lot, but I don't think he's a full-time slot receiver. I think he's better when you use him as that gadget role player.
Yes, I agree.
Use him with the jet sweeps and the trickery and utilize his speed. Just like we were talking about with the running backs. Thank you. I just saw the comment there. But just like we're talking about with the running backs, get those guys out in space. Let them utilize their speed, because remember that in the offseason, that's the whole topic of conversation. Remember, how can we beat Kansas City? We have to get more speed. Well, we got more speed, but now what are we doing with it? It just sits there on the bench or in roles that they don't really need to be having at this moment of the season. Like, give Shakir more time in the slot and McKenzie more time as just that gadget role player where defenses just don't know how to defend him. Like that play against Green Bay, that was perfect. He literally stopped, sat there, and still got in the end zone because the defender was just like, oh, wait, what's going on?
Right. Yeah, there needs to be more creativity, man. And I agree, man. Like McKenzie, to me, he's not the full-time slot guy. He's just not that guy. Whenever we saw Shakir get more of that role, he has produced and he has shown that he is more reliable, right, than McKenzie is. And McKenzie works for his role, like that gadget guy, that end around guy, that speed element. He works in that role. But when you try to trust him as that slot outlet, that number one slot guy, he just cannot do it. It's just not his thing. So give the ball, let Shakir. I want to see more Shakir. And then then not only Shakir, but dadgum, man. I mean, you've got how many receiving backs do you have on this team right now? I mean, Motor's good out of the backfield. Freaking A, man. I mean, you got. I'm sorry, I almost said a bad thing, but you've got Naeem Hines. You just brought him in. You got James Cook, your second round draft pick. You've got between Hines and Cook. Man, put them in the slot, right? Along with Shakir. Be creative. Like, where is the creativity? I don't see any creativity from Ken Dorsey and his offense when you have these weapons. And I'm glad somebody had put it up there in the chat. They were talking about like copying Andy Reid. I think it was Sal. And he was referring to Knox, right? Like, copy Andy Reid and get the ball to Knox. It's a copycat league, right? Well, yeah. I mean, you can't tell me that you can't get the ball to these playmakers. You cannot tell me. Either you don't know, either you refuse to do it or you just don't know how to do it. And I shudder to think that you don't know how to do it and you're coaching at this level right? So he needs to do something, switch things up. I'm curious to see what the offense looks like going forward. I don't know if we're really going to see it against the Browns, especially with all the snow. But I'm curious to see what it looks like going forward when McDermott talks about, when he's pointing out to the style of offense. I want to see if we're gonna see any type of change in the style of offense. But man, Dorsey sat underneath Brian Dable for how long? You would have think that he would have caught something, right? Something creatively, right? I mean, come on, man, you've got guys. But now, I kind of set you up there, Kev, but you didn't take the bait, man. I asked if the issue could be fixed in house or is a player, that is not currently on the field. I mean, on this team right now. And you didn't take the cheese, you didn't take the bait. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Oh, Odell, you mean?
You daggum right, Odell.
Oh, okay.
Come on now. Come on. I teed you up. I teed you up right there for him, man.
I'm living in the present here.
So when you look at, I get it. I mean, that's down the road, but I mean, in the present right now, we can, until that happens, if it happens, I want to see more Shakir. But if there is an opportunity to get Odell and he's healthy, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see when he works out, whatever the case may be. But this is a good time, right, going into this last stretch of the season as we enter into the playoff run. But if Odell, fully healthy and cleared, can come to the Buffalo Bills, you cannot tell me from a talent perspective that this guy would not immediately upgrade the offense and provide Josh Allen with that slot outlet. You can't tell me that, because Odell, well, you just go back to last year, you know what I'm saying, when you see what he did for the Rams, and even in the Super Bowl, he was on his way to becoming the Super Bowl MVP until he got injured. Odell Beckham Jr. may not be the same guy that he was in New York in his heyday, but he is still a very, very, very good and dangerous wide receiver in this National Football League, considering he's fully healthy. And so if you add that guy, I think it gives Josh more confidence because he's a vet and because he knows how to do it and he's seen it, he's proven. Maybe that gives Josh a little bit more, I guess trust, right? You know what I'm saying? To okay, maybe I don't have to do it all by myself. I can trust a guy like Odell, like I can trust Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis to a degree. I don't know, man, but I think having a guy of his caliber on this team and his offense moving forward would be tremendous asset to this team. But until then, and this is just we're all just kind of speculating here, I want to see more Khalil Shakir in this offense, man. I have to see more of him. Reverse the roles, man. Let McKenzie be the gadget guy and give Shakir more of that slot role and trust him. He's a rookie, man. You can't tell me, like, come on, man, we got rookies all over the place making plays. Give him the ball and see what he can do and let him grow into the role. You don't just leave him on the bench and say, oh, well, he's just not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? Well, how's he going to get ready if he's not on the field? Play the man, Kev.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to go back to that last play of the game while there was the knee down or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think everything that we're talking about here falls back on Ken Dorsey. Now, the blame is to go around for everyone. Like we were saying, McDermott, Josh Allen, the players. But I think that a lot of this falls back on Ken Dorsey's shoulders because he is not utilizing the strengths of his players. The fact that we had 3 guys running a double post route in the back of the end zone on 2nd and 10 with 2 timeouts left on that last play of the game, that's a problem. If you realize Isaiah McKenzie, he ran an out route to the left side. Devin Singletary was the only one open in the middle of the field. Everyone else cleared out. That is a huge problem. We need someone in the middle of the field. And as much as we say Isaiah McKenzie isn't a full-time slot receiver, I'm pretty sure that was his duty to clear the field and to go out to the left side there. So that falls on Dorsey. Someone needs to be closer to the sticks and try to move the chains because we didn't have to go for the touchdown there. And taking it a step further, it's also Dorsey's fault that we don't see the screen passes with someone like James Cook or Nyheim Hines, or we don't see crossers or slants or anything remotely close to try to move the chains. Everything is just a simple 20-yard, 25, 20, or 30-yard route. There is no variation to the offense, and you're seeing guys like Patrick Peterson pick up on it. He's just going to say, hey, hey, Gabe Davis is going to run this way because the Bills don't want to do anything else with their offense because they just get way too vanilla.
Yeah, 100%, man. I agree 100%. And this is going to be me transitioning here because as we get ready to close out the show, and kudos to everybody who's joining right now, who's been watching us this past hour and 38 minutes. Salute to you all. I really appreciate that. Do us a favor if you haven't already done so, smash that like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on those bell notifications. Make sure you follow my man Kevin Syracuse at KSyracuse5 on Twitter. That is the man right there. But I want to transition, I guess, our perspective, right? Because as much as we all can agree that there's a lot of blame, right, that can go around, right? We know that Ken Dorsey is to blame. We know Sean McDermott is to blame. We know Josh Allen is to blame as well. But you know what? I'm in agreement here with Air Allen. Air Allen says, yo, Josh and this team are unstoppable as long as Josh takes what the defense gives him. Underneath passes are open all day long. And I want to close it out with this because I feel like I got to get our minds back right. Okay. We can critique our players. It's okay. Like I mentioned earlier, Josh Allen is not above reproach. He can be critiqued. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're less of a fan if you critique him. He's at fault. He needs to own it as he's owned it himself. It's okay for us to own it as well and call him and put him on the fire to it, right? But at the same time, Josh Allen is the reason why the Buffalo Bills are even in the conversation right now as legitimate Super Bowl contenders. If it were not for Josh Allen, we would still be circling the wagons trying to find a quarterback, trying to be in the conversation. There's no telling how long this playoff drought would have lasted, right? But nevertheless, we've got our guy. Am I critical of Josh Allen at times? Absolutely. Do I trust in him? Do I believe in him? Absolutely. So no need to be overly concerned, Bills Mafia. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we were in a similar position last year at this time. The Bills sustained a few losses, a couple of back-to-back losses at the beginning of December. But this time last year, the Bills were also 7-3. Many people were questioning, man, what's up with the Bills? And then we sustained those two losses, and we're like, oh, man, are they going to make the playoffs, right? And they were able to right the ship. And they closed out the month of December undefeated, and they went into the playoffs, and we saw what happened until they got into the division round. Nevertheless, I believe in this team. I believe in Sean McDermott. I still believe in Ken Dorsey, even though he's young at this and he's making some mistakes. I believe he will correct it. I believe Josh Allen will correct it. This team is too talented, too gifted, too exceptional for them to let the season fall and become derailed because of some minor issues. These issues can be rectified, and I fully believe that they will be rectified. So let's pump the brakes a little bit. No reason to pause. To panic, right? Put that panic button back in your pocket. You don't need to take it out right now. The Buffalo Bills will be just fine. There's how many games left, Kevin? 8-9 games left, right? I think we're 6-3. We're 6-3. So there's
9 games, 8 games left.
We've got plenty of football left to be played. Okay. If we see these same mistakes happen and the Bills for some reason miss the playoffs, then we can talk. But until then, we are only one game into the second half of the season, right? There's a lot left to be played. It's okay. It's going to be all right. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to use the same words that Von Miller used. Don't blink. Don't blink for 1 second. This is to all the fans out there who are scared, who are willing to jump ship. Don't blink. This is to all the national media people who are willing to throw the Bills under the bus right now and talk. Don't blink. And a matter of fact, this is probably the best place that the Bills need to be right now. backs against the walls. Everybody's out against them, right? They're dropping in the power rankings. Nobody's really picking them like that. They're questioning the Bills. This is where they need to be. This is gut check time for the Bills. Halfway part in the season, this is gut check time. Let's see what these boys are made out of. And I believe that this team is going to show everybody that they have not gone anywhere. They're going to right this ship. They're going to be right back in the thick of things. And we'll be all talking about the Bills moving forward. And guess what? I fully believe that this Bills team is still going to hoist up that Vince Lombardi champ trophy. When it's all said and done, they're still hoisting up that trophy, and we're not going to be talking about this and Josh Allen this and Ken Dorsey that. Now we'll be looking at it as this, it's just a little bump in the road. Journeys are not without adversity. It's all about how you look at it and how you are able to overcome it. This team is going to overcome it, Bills Mafia. So hop back on this wagon. Hop back on this Josh Allen train. He's going to be all right. He's going to get his mind right, and the Bills are going to be just fine. That is my final words, Kev. Any final words for you, Kev, before we head on out?
I don't know if I can top that. That was good. The one thing that I do want to add in, this is more tactical than yours is more motivational.
Yeah.
I was listening to Show Up on the Bulldog today, and one of the Browns analysts was on, and he said that the Browns defense is at their best when teams line up in shotgun, and they struggle a lot with pre-snap motion and play action. And that's something I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but the Bills haven't run a lot of play action. So, we're talking about the Bills improving, and they're going to learn from this, and they're going to be all right. I wonder if they're going to pick up on that, and we're going to see some variations to this offense because, the stats don't lie and the numbers don't lie. And I hope the Browns analyst isn't lying because, I think that's definitely an area to exploit because the last I heard, the snow should be gone by Sunday. So we're going to get hammered from now until Saturday. And then by Sunday, it's just going to be a matter of cleaning out the stadium and making the playable. But I don't think it's going to be like the Colts game where you can't see the players on the field. So I think Josh is going to be able to throw the ball. And I just hope that they can be smart about it. And they don't say, hey, the Browns are 3-6 or whatever the record is, and we need to get back on top. So let's go fire up a couple 50-yard bombs to Diggs and Davis. I just hope that they take what the defense gives them and they don't get overconfident because I think that's when they've been at their best. Going back to last year when they were 7-6, they started running the ball and being balanced on offense, and that's when they were playing their best football. This year in the beginning of the year, same thing. Josh was taking what the defense was giving them. They were running the ball, mixing it in, and that's when they were playing their best. And then, boom, you hit them over the top with the deep ball.
Exactly right. And that's exactly what I anticipate this Bills team to do because when Sean McDermott talked about the style of offense, he was talking to Ken Dorsey. That was code for Ken Dorsey. And we're going to fix this mess. I'm not having it. I'm not going to derail my season on account of some buffoonery. It's not going to happen on my watch. Sean McDermott has had enough, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see a new Bills team, baby. The Bills team that you guys love so very much. The Bills team that is unstoppable. When this team is on their A game, firing on all cylinders, nobody, and I mean nobody, can beat them. Nobody. So let's get ready for Bills Browns, and let's keep it moving, baby. And until next time, from my man Kev Syracuse, it's your man Rev, and we will see you guys next time. Make sure you keep it locked right here on the Buffalo Fanatics. Smash that like on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Follow my man Kev Syracuse at K35 on Twitter. Follow me at RATED REV. Follow the Buffalo Fanatics. Go to supportbf.com. Go through all of that. Check out my man's article, thebuffalofanatics.com. Stay tuned for Rico Friday Night Live, Saturday night. Hopefully we can get the Twitter thing going on so my man can get back into spaces. But we got a game on Sunday right around the corner, baby. Pre-game show with the fellas. Live game day reaction by my man Pierre. It's the Kingpin. It's going down. Buffalo Fanatics is where you want to be. As always, baby, grace and peace. God bless. And go Bills.
Go Bills.